Millions of travelers are about to find out the hard way that airports in 2026 won't work anything like they do now. And the crazy part? Most people won't realize the rules changed until they're stuck at security, denied boarding, or watching their flight leave without them. So before that happens to you, here's what's about to change and exactly how to stay ahead. Because in 2026, being unprepared could cost you time, money, or even your entire trip. Let's dive in. Biometrics takeover. The first major shift begins with something that used to be simple: your identity. In 2026, airports across the US, Europe, and Asia will move toward a fully biometric system. Instead of handing over a passport or pulling up a boarding pass, you'll walk up to a camera that scans your face and instantly verifies who you are. These systems are already active in places like Atlanta, Dallas, and London Heathrow, but next year they won't be optional anymore. Travelers who prefer privacy or don't want to be photographed will still be allowed through, but they'll be pushed into slow, manual verification lines. And experts predict those lines will grow dramatically as biometric lanes become the default. Europe's new EES system will also record the exact moment you enter and leave the EU, making overstays much harder to hide. The carry-on confusion. And just when you thought airlines couldn't squeeze travelers any harder, carry-on rules are getting a makeover too. Multiple carriers are preparing stricter bag size and weight limits in 2026, supported by digital bag scanning systems that automatically flag oversized luggage before you even reach the gate. Some low-cost airlines like Ryanair and EasyJet are already testing these scanners, while several U.S. budget carriers are reportedly exploring ways to charge passengers for overhead bin space. Even full-service airlines may launch personal item-only fare tiers, meaning the bag you used to bring on board for free could suddenly cost you $40 to $80 per flight. If you want to avoid gate check arguments, start traveling with a structured under-seat bag and weigh your carry-on before leaving home, especially as some airlines move toward enforcing 15-pound limits for overhead bags. Security 2.0. The next change might actually make traveling easier. Airport security is finally catching up with modern technology. In 2026, TSA and major airports across Europe will roll out next-generation CT scanners that can analyze your bag in 3D. These machines are so advanced that many travelers won't need to remove liquids, laptops, or toiletries anymore. The classic 3.4-ounce liquid rule is on its way out in the UK and EU, and similar upgrades are expanding across major US airports. But not every airport will upgrade at the same pace, so depending on where you depart from, you might still face the old routine. Another upgrade: shoe removal may no longer be mandatory, as the new scanners can detect objects inside footwear, allowing most travelers to keep their shoes on by 2026. Digital passports and paperless boarding. Then comes one of the most transformative changes of all: digital passports. By 2026, the U.S. State Department will complete its rollout of next-gen e-passports, equipped with advanced chips that support digital travel credentials stored directly on your smartphone. In other words, your phone could function as your passport. Airlines like Delta, United, and British Airways are already testing systems that verify your identity through facial recognition, allowing you to board without showing any physical documents. It's convenient until you lose your phone. If your battery dies or your device goes missing, you could be stranded without proof of citizenship. That's why, even with digital credentials, travelers should always carry their physical passport and keep offline copies of essential documents. Hidden cost hikes. And just when you think the updates are over, there's a change that hits your wallet before you even realize it. Starting in 2026, airports and airlines will quietly increase passenger taxes and environmental surcharges. These new fees will appear as facility charges, air duty adjustments, or green aviation levies, tucked inside the taxes and fees section of your ticket. The UK has already confirmed increases to air passenger duty, and several EU countries plan to follow. Experts predict similar jumps in the U.S. as airports modernize their infrastructure. Travelers booking flights should pay attention to the breakdown of taxes and consider credit cards or travel perks that offer reimbursement for these rising fees. Air travel is evolving faster than ever. In just a few months, airports will look and feel completely different. From biometric gates and AI-powered security lanes to digital passports and stricter carry-on rules. But the good news is simple. If you understand the new rules now, you'll move through airports more smoothly than the average traveler. Before your next trip, double-check your passport expiration date, update your airline apps, and prepare your luggage for stricter policies. In 2026, knowledge isn't just helpful. Knowledge is your boarding pass. And if you've ever stood in front of an immigration officer with your heart beating a little too fast, you're not alone. Even experienced travelers feel that moment of pressure. Officers aren't trying to intimidate you. Their job is to verify your story and make sure you're entering the country legally. Once you understand what they're really checking for, every question becomes easier to answer. That's why today we're also breaking down the 10 tricky customs and immigration questions, what they truly mean, what you should avoid saying, and how to answer confidently. When they ask, "What's the purpose of your visit?" they're not making small talk. They're checking whether your story matches your visa type. If you're on a tourist visa, the answer should simply match that. "I'm here on vacation for 2 weeks." Nothing more, nothing less. When they ask, "How long do you plan to stay?" they're looking for reassurance that you intend to leave on time. Having your return ticket ready on your phone instantly builds trust. The question, "Where will you be staying?" checks whether you've planned your trip responsibly. A simple hotel name or a family member's address is enough. If they ask whether you have a return ticket, they're assessing whether you're likely to overstay. A refundable ticket works perfectly if your plans are flexible. When officers ask, "What do you do for work?" they're not judging your career. They're checking financial stability. Any clear, simple answer works. If you're between jobs, just explain briefly how you're funding your trip. The question, "How much money are you carrying?" focuses on security and smuggling concerns. Most countries allow up to $10,000 in undeclared cash, but credit cards and bank statements also count as proof of funds. "Did you pack your own bags?" is about safety and awareness. A calm yes is usually all they need. "Are you traveling alone?" helps them verify your travel story. Consistency is key. "Do you have family or friends in this country?" isn't a trap. They just want to understand your intentions. Being truthful with basic details is enough. When they ask, "Do you have anything to declare?" remember that many items qualify. Food, medication, souvenirs. If you're unsure, declaring is always safer. And if they ask, "Have you visited here before?" they already know the answer. They're testing your honesty, not your memory. The travelers who move through immigration the fastest aren't the ones who memorize answers. They're the ones who stay calm, consistent, and confident. If your answers match your documents and flow naturally, you'll be through before you know it. And if you found this guide helpful, keep learning the rules before you fly. Because the smartest travelers don't just pack bags, they pack knowledge. If you love travel tips and want to stay prepared for every new rule coming in 2026, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Your next trip could depend on it.